So today we're talking about how to stay together when times get tough in your marriage. Hey there, I'm Stu Gray.
Hey, I'm Lisa Gray.
This is a Stupendous Marriage podcast. What's going on? How are you? How's life?
Yeah, life's been a little crazy.
It has. We've lost some family members.
Yeah.
Craziness in the Middle East is kooky nutty, not feeling great. It's a weird time. It's tough for us as husband and wife, and it just seems like things are heavy, it seems like right now.
Yeah. Well, and I know talking to other friends and stuff, it seems like it's definitely been a season that a lot of people are in, the stuff that just happened in Israel. And then we had friends actually that got kind of stuck over there initially. And thankfully they're back in the US. And I know a lot of you may know people who've been affected by this directly. And then we've had family members and we've been to 2 different funerals in 3 weeks. And it just is a hard season sometimes. And you and I definitely don't have it all figured out, but talking about it and reminding ourselves and you guys that when we do run into hard times in our marriage, it's really important that we remember some key things to try to make sure that we stay connected and that we stay on the same page together.
Yeah, and maybe it's not even in your marriage. It's like things going on around you outside your marriage that can really wreak havoc, suck the energy out of your marriage. Gosh, we just went through several years of, crazy virus, right? And we have lots of friends who are couples at the beginning of COVID and now are no longer couples. Yeah. And it's just like, what happens that we blow up during difficult times? And it's really, really easy to do. I think the first thing to think about is like adjusting your expectations of thinking that everything is going to be perfect in life and in your marriage. And all the time it's like, wow, we got married, it's happily ever after. And honestly, that's just not true. Life is actually hard, right? And we have to adjust our mindset to, man, things aren't always going to be, we need to be thankful for the good times. And when it's pleasant and easy, just know that it's going to be hard. If you're not at the mountaintop experience, the happy place, I mean, you could be heading towards a valley and going through a valley, a tough time. Then remembering that in the valley is not the time to leave, because in the valley is the time where we actually learn stuff and grow. Mountaintop experiences are wonderful and amazing, but you can't live there. We had a pastor who said you're either mountaintop, valley, or on your way to one of the two, right?
True.
And so it's really adjusting that expectation of knowing that there can and will be hard times.
Right. And understanding that you're 2 different people. You come from 2 different places and backgrounds and histories and thoughts. And so you're going to experience things differently. The 2 losses that we just had in the family were on my side of the family. Right. One I didn't really know well at all. And the other one I knew pretty well, but neither you knew well.
Sure.
And so for you, it was a little easier. It didn't bother you as much as it did me. And so, understanding like there may be a season that your spouse may be grumpy or upset or something's wrong and you've got to suck it up even though you're having your stuff. You may have your own moods because of work or school or kids or whatever the case may be, but allowing your spouse the space to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna kind of like just serve and love and hug and show grace during this season because they're having a tougher time than I am. I think that's really significant. And again, this is not something that either one of us have done really well over the years, but man, it's a nice thing to remember. It's like, wait a minute, maybe I can, in this season, because my spouse is having a hard time, try to do extra housework or go run more errands or whatever it may be, take care of the kids more, like whatever it may be that you might be able to love them a little extra special because you're not in the same place as them. And hopefully you're in a little bit of a better place.
Well, and it really is accepting them for who they are, surrendering your expectations. Again, Lisa is amazing at serving her family, and just these past several weeks, she put together photo slideshows and just loved on her family and tried to be there. We tried to serve their family as best as possible, and she's very intensive about that. And so I'm kind of
almost to a fault.
I'm over here doing
times.
My own thing, like, hello, I'm still over here. Hi, remember me?
What's your name?
Exactly. But it's trying to remember that and not be offended by that. That's how God has wired her. I'm not like, I actually wouldn't do that for my family, not not in a negative way. It's just not how I'm wired.
Right.
And Lisa's very, very good at that in whatever situation she's in. And it's like, well, I'm going to let my wife do her thing. That's how she operates. How can I support her? And then, of course, her family. Yeah. And how can I serve? What does it look like? We went and got food for the family when we were in the hospital. You know, we were just able to serve in little different ways.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in hard times, it's just like, who needs to pick up the ball and run with it, right?
Yeah.
Sorry for the random sports metaphor, because I'm not a sports ball person, really, but it really is just pick it up and go do the thing.
There's been times over the years that you've done that really well. There's been other times you haven't, you know.
Oh, sure.
But when you have done it well and you've picked it up and you've just been available to serve me, available to serve whomever we're in the mode of serving at the time, it really makes me feel loved. It really makes me feel supported. I don't know if I tell you that enough. It makes me proud of who we are as a husband and wife. It makes me proud of how maybe people might see Jesus through us and the way that we're serving and how we're loving the family in the moment. As a mom, seeing our son do that, he's really good at that, of just loving and serving. And so when you're able to do that, and again, you have your own stuff going on sometimes. And sometimes, unfortunately, I don't know about you guys, but for us, sometimes it seems like he has his own craziness going on and I have my own craziness going on. And then it's like, well, who in the heck's going to pick up the ball? Because right now I just want to throw it at him.
Right.
Or he just wants to throw it at me because we're in our own stuff. And so when we can push through and be like, you know what, I may have my own stuff going on right now, but I'm going to try to just lay it down and love you. And I've done the same thing for you when you've had things going on and you're like, what? Right. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to lay low. I'm just going to serve him. I'm just going to try to make things as less stressful as I can, so that whatever he is going through, he can not have other things added to it.
I think another thing is expressing your feelings and how you are feeling and not blaming your spouse. You're doing this, you're ignoring me, you're causing a problem, you don't want to. No. That never works in any type of situation. But I think when times are hard, it's like, I am really feeling lonely. I am really feeling distant from you. And you have done that more lately with me. Hey, I want to be around you. I'm feeling away from you right now. Miss you.
Yeah.
And you've been doing that type of trying to reconnect, that bid for attention and reconnection, which is really helpful because it's not making me feel like crap. It's actually saying what you need. I need this. Here's where I am. I'm missing you right now.
Yeah.
I feel really bad right now. I'm lonely. I'm hurting. Something in recovery that's really helpful. Hurting, exhausted, angry, resentful, tired. The heart metaphor. HEART. Hurting, exhausted, angry, resentful, tired. Thinking about those things. Another one is halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Angry gets in both of them. Go figure. Because we get angry really easy and resentful. You know what I mean? It's really easy to get angry, but then noticing what the emotion is that you're carrying, acknowledging it for yourself, expressing it to your spouse. They can't always solve it, but gosh, just getting it out from between your ears can be really helpful sometimes. If you're getting, this is like the worst place for me a lot of times, between my ears, because I get into stinking thinking in whatever situation it is. If I can talk to Lisa, if I can talk to someone else and just air it out, that's super helpful.
That's where the phone a friend becomes significant. If you can't phone a friend, then you also can journal. You know, sometimes writing out or even talking to yourself. You know, there's been times that I've been feeling super overwhelmed and I'll go on a car ride by myself or I'll go in our bathroom closet. I'll talk to God, but it's also me talking to myself. And as I start hearing what I'm saying, it kind of sometimes can put things in perspective and sometimes deflate the emotions that I might be feeling in the moment and feel pent up. So on top of phoning a friend, always remember that you can journal, you can talk to the Lord, you can talk to yourself, just not allowing it to consume you, because what you focus on grows. If I sit here and focus on the fact that he was supposed to do the dishes and he didn't, and allow that to make me really angry and frustrated because I have my own stuff going on, that can really become a bigger deal than it needs to be. Instead, if I can show you grace and be like, you know what? You have a lot going on right now. And yes, you said you were going to do this, but you didn't. But I'm going to let it go. And I'm just going to love you and be like, and without telling you, you know, it's about loving you in secret enough to say, I'm going to just lay this down. I'm not going to let this be a bigger deal than what it needs to be. And maybe later, when everything's calmed down and everything like that, I can have a conversation about an issue. But in the moment, maybe I don't, because it's not as big of an issue as what you may be dealing with.
You can feel free to love me in public too. I mean, you don't have to just love me in secret.
I meant you don't know that I'm walking away and going, I'm not going to be offended.
Oh.
I'm going to love him even though I'm frustrated that he didn't do X, Y, Z, you know.
So another thing that really happened for us in this time, we went to church in the middle of this season, right? Especially with your great aunt who passed away.
Mm-hmm.
It was Sunday morning, and we both walked away from church like, wow, we really needed that.
Yeah.
It was so refreshing and encouraging and invigorating. It's like getting back to the faith, getting back to God, praying together, morning, noon, night, whatever that looks like for you. Just get out of your pride and grab her hand or grab his hand and pray. Just give it up to God. Stand together in that.
Yeah.
There is something about surrendering it over to the Lord that is very helpful. Just getting someone praying for you or moving in that direction together is a very, very helpful thing.
So we hope that maybe this has encouraged you and helped you, because I know it has us, just having this conversation in front of you. We hope that you guys are doing well and enjoying the videos. Our goal here is not to have it all together, because we obviously don't, but to encourage us in the process, hopefully encourage you in your marriage that it's okay. We can all get through this together.
You can leave a comment below if you're watching us wherever you watch your videos, or you can leave us a voicemail, stupendousmarriage.com/voicemail. We would love to hear from you. What's going on in your marriage? If you've got a question or a comment, we'd love to hear from you. We'll talk to you next time.
See ya.
Not be upset by that. Obviously didn't want me to talk about this. Kind of how I feel. Ooh.
I'm just gonna give him grace, and I'm gonna not allow myself to get super angry about
it. Something about me not doing the dishes again, because you hate the fact that I don't do the dishes. Apparently, why do we go to the dishes?
I know.
I think the dishes are okay.
Yeah, actually, they're not bad.
Make me sound like I don't do the dishes ever.
That's my example. When I give an example, that's what always pops in my head, is thinking about the dishes. Because I do believe there was a season in our marriage that you used to intentionally leave bowls in the sink, and you did it on purpose. You told me later that you actually did it on purpose to just see if I would notice.
Never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Go away, birds.
There's a plane. The crows are gone. But now the plane's flying.
We live in a jungle.
But not really. We live in a neighborhood in a city.
I know, with trees and crows and dogs and
planes. Oh my.